kind of funny and said, "Elder, what draws your shoulders so high? Have you any stomach trouble?" Well, I told him I had what the doctor called flatulency. He said, "Elder, how long have you had that trouble?" I said, "Excuse me for the present. He has more cheek than a hound, so he has. I did have right smart of pain in my stomach and bowels, but I wasn't going to own it to him, and get fumbled with his fingers and thumb right there, for I might just as well acknowledge it in the first place as to let him fumble me. You know, Brother George, anciently much wine was used at weddings, and Christ made lots of it at once, and Paul took some for his flatulency also. Now, Brother George, I think he is too hard on us. He made me as mad as a skillet of popcorn. When my wife and little Betty came home, they said, was on a box talking awful big about this and that sign. Well, Pa, he had just sniggered and said, "There goes another sign." He was making fun of Ma's teeth, and said if a woman as young as Ma is had store teeth, that it was a sign that she had been sick, and the doctor who treated her had more calomel than sense. Then he began about his divine law and signs till I just got sick of the stuff. Now, Brother George, I write a line to you personally and ask that you keep it out of my special opinion in this case, as circumstances have more to do in this case than facts. He may be right about his divine law, but we must use a saving amount of policy as we go along. You know, if we can keep him on the unpopular side, it will be best, as our meat and bread have a casting vote at this. Now, Brother George, I think I have a clue which will help us very much in handling this fallen angel, and that is this. He is a Methodist preacher's son, and some of them are mighty bad boys, and I want to post you on his methods. Then you can combat him more successfully. First, he hates and fears alcohol worse than all the devils in hell combined. He is no policy man. Will say just what he thinks or die in the attempt. He hates a hypocrite, a liar, a thief, a drone, a two-faced man or woman, and a lazy man. He pays all his debts and is good to the poor, makes money easily, is possibly the best anatomist now living. He knows what he says, and says what he knows only. Now, you know his weak point, and will have to meet him in open fields. The enriching of his mind is the blunders of fools. Well, Brother George, that we may more successfully combat the doctor, if combats be necessary, I think it good advice to get his written opinion on a few very important questions which are arranged, and I think he will kindly answer them. I am told he is very outspoken. Please ask him what he thinks of our churches, and carefully note his answer. Doctor says, "Well, George, I have no use for the churches of the world, if I take them as a whole. I think there is a good and bad in all of them. I see rivers of blood running from the most of them, and more coming. I look on them as clandestine in effect, and fallen far short of the great need of the world. To be a Methodist means to hate a Campbellite, and to be a Campbellite is to hate the Baptist, and so on, and all will unite as one to fight the Roman Catholic. I believe the principles given to man is high above all churches, and it is love to all mankind with all the soul, body, and mind as the law and gift of God to man. It is bloodless rivers of love given for man to drink in all time and eternity. My confidence is fully builded and will ever stand upon the goodness and love of God outside all church organizations. What does Still think of the personal God idea? Well, I have asked him all about it. What did he say? He said there would be less fools born and fewer made after birth if people would let well enough alone and said. How is old friend H? Why, he's dead. How's friend C? He is dead also. Now I will tell Ma not to make fun any more when our dog howls. He howled twice so pitiful, and the elder tells me friends H and C are both dead, and Granny says them signs never fail. Section 8. Well, Brother George, in charge number 8, too much divine. His disciples have rolled and pulled me and my wife, I declare, till I don't know what to do. I felt so well after they treated me that I just took a half-month's treatment. Had you missed my wig? No, you had your hat on ever since you came back. Well, Brother George, I left it as security with the secretary for my treatment. I believe an open confession is good for the soul.